Welcome back. Today we're diving into the results for a big one in the energy sector, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited or BPCL.
That's right. BPCL is a major player, a Government of India enterprise involved in oil refining and marketing petroleum products. They're a Fortune Global 500 company and a Maharatna public sector undertaking, so their performance gives us a good pulse on the energy landscape in India. They also have significant operations through subsidiaries like Bharat Petro Resources Limited or BPRL, which is involved in exploration and production.
Absolutely. So they've released their audited financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. The Board of Directors approved these results on April 29, 2025. We've got both standalone and consolidated figures to look at today. Where should we start?
Let's kick off with the top line, revenue from operations. We'll look at consolidated first, then touch upon standalone.
Sounds good. How did the consolidated revenue look for the quarter ending March 2025? Give us the year-over-year and the quarter-over-quarter picture.
Okay, on a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, revenue from operations came in at 1,26,916.18 crore rupees. Now, comparing that year-over-year to Q4 FY24, which was 1,32,086.86 crore rupees, that's a decrease of about 3.9%.
A dip year-over-year. How does that compare sequentially quarter-over-quarter against the December 2024 quarter?
Sequentially, comparing Q4 FY25 to Q3 FY25, which was 1,27,550.57 crore rupees, the revenue is down slightly by about 0.5%. So a minor dip both year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter on the consolidated top line for the quarter.
Interesting. And for the full financial year 25 on a consolidated basis?
For the full year FY25, consolidated revenue was 5,517.48 crore rupees. Compared to FY24's 5,06,992.60 crore rupees, that's also a slight decrease, roughly 1.3% down year-over-year.
Got it. How does the standalone revenue picture compare?
The standalone figures mirror the trend quite closely. For Q4 FY25, standalone revenue was 1,26,864.93 crore rupees. That's down about 3.9% year-over-year from 1,32,056.56 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. And quarter-over-quarter, it's down about 0.5% from 1,27,520.50 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, standalone revenue was 5,371.25 crore rupees, down about 1.3% from FY24.
Okay, so a slight softening in revenue, both standalone and consolidated, year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter. Let's move down the income statement. The report doesn't explicitly state EBITDA, so let's use profit before tax or PBT as our main indicator here. How did consolidated PBT perform in Q4?
Right. Looking at consolidated profit before tax for Q4 FY25, it stood at 5,896.76 crore rupees. Year-over-year, that's a decrease compared to the 6,669.25 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, down about 11.6%.
A drop year-over-year. What about the sequential quarter-over-quarter comparison for consolidated PBT?
Sequentially, Q4 FY25's PBT of 5,896.76 crore rupees is actually up compared to Q3 FY25's 5,332.97 crore rupees. That's an increase of about 10.6% quarter-over-quarter. So down year-over-year, but up quarter-over-quarter.
That's a notable divergence. And the full year consolidated PBT?
For the full year FY25, consolidated PBT was 18,182.30 crore rupees. This is significantly lower than the 36,194.44 crore rupees in FY24, a drop of nearly 50% year-over-year. This highlights that while the last quarter showed sequential improvement, the full year faced considerable pressure compared to the previous year.
A significant drop for the full year. How does the standalone PBT story compare for the quarter and the year?
Standalone PBT for Q4 FY25 was 4,262.51 crore rupees. Year-over-year, that's down about 24.5% from Q4 FY24's 5,643.36 crore rupees. Quarter-over-quarter, however, it's down quite significantly from Q3 FY25's 6,176.17 crore rupees, a drop of about 31%.
Wow, so standalone PBT dropped both year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter in Q4, unlike the consolidated figure which rose sequentially. What about the full-year standalone PBT?
For the full year FY25, standalone PBT was 17,664.33 crore rupees. Similar to the consolidated picture, this is a substantial drop, down about 50.3% from FY24's 35,548.37 crore rupees.
Okay, so both standalone and consolidated PBT took a big hit for the full year compared to FY24. Now let's look at the bottom line, profit after tax or PAT. What are the consolidated numbers for Q4?
Consolidated PAT for Q4 FY25 was 4,391.83 crore rupees. Year-over-year, this is down about 8.3% from Q4 FY24's 4,789.57 crore rupees.
And the quarter-over-quarter trend for consolidated PAT?
Sequentially, Q4's consolidated PAT is up strongly compared to Q3 FY25's 3,805.94 crore rupees. That's an increase of about 15.4% quarter-over-quarter. Again, down year-over-year, but up quarter-over-quarter for the consolidated bottom line.
And the full-year consolidated PAT?
Full-year FY25 consolidated PAT came in at 13,336.55 crore rupees. This is a significant drop of about 50.4% compared to FY24's 26,858.84 crore rupees.
Matching the PBT trend for the full year. Let's check the standalone PAT now. Q4 performance.
Standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 was 3,214.06 crore rupees. Year-over-year, this is down 24% compared to Q4 FY24's 4,224.18 crore rupees. Quarter-over-quarter, it's also down significantly, about 30.9% from Q3 FY25's 4,649.20 crore rupees.
Again, standalone PAT down both year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter in Q4. And the full-year standalone PAT?
Full-year FY25 standalone PAT stood at 13,275.26 crore rupees. Mirroring the consolidated and PBT trends, this is down significantly, about 50.2% from FY24's 26,673.50 crore rupees.
Okay, a clear picture emerges. Lower profits in FY25 compared to FY24, both standalone and consolidated, although Q4 showed some sequential strength on the consolidated side. How does this translate to earnings per share or EPS on a consolidated basis?
Consolidated basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 10.28 rupees. Year-over-year, this is down from 11.23 rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter-over-quarter, it's up from 8.91 rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, consolidated basic EPS was 31.21 rupees, down sharply from 63.04 rupees in FY24.
And standalone EPS?
Standalone basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 7.52 rupees. Year-over-year, that's down from 9.90 rupees. Quarter-over-quarter, it's down from 10.88 rupees. For the full year FY25, standalone basic EPS was 31.07 rupees, down significantly from 62.60 rupees in FY24. It's important to Note 3 mentions a bonus share issue in June 2024 1-for-1. The EPS figures have been restated for all periods to reflect this, ensuring comparability.
Thanks for highlighting the bonus share adjustment. Before we move to profitability, was there any significant other income impacting these results?
Yes, other income is noticeable. On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, it was 804.58 crore rupees, up significantly both year-over-year from 506.68 crore rupees and quarter-over-quarter from 607.79 crore rupees. For the full year FY25, consolidated other income was 2,684.72 crore rupees, up from 2,234.73 crore rupees in FY24. The standalone figures show a similar trend with Q4 FY25. Other income at 792.99 crore rupees, YoY and QoQ, and full year FY25 at 3,086.20 crore rupees, up from 2,518.01 crore rupees in FY24. This boost in other income certainly helped cushion the bottom line somewhat.
Right, that's a good chunk of change. Let's talk profitability margins now. Based on the PAT and revenue figures, what can we say?
Okay, calculating net profit margins PAT divided by revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 consolidated, PAT margin is about 3.46%. For Q4 FY25 standalone, PAT margin is about 2.53%. For the full year FY25, consolidated PAT margin is about 2.66%. For the full year FY25 standalone, PAT margin is about 2.65%. So while margins improved sequentially in Q4 on a consolidated basis, they were generally lower year-over-year for the quarter. The full-year margins are significantly compressed compared to what we might have seen in FY24, reflecting the drop in overall profitability. The consolidated margin is slightly better than standalone for the quarter, likely due to contributions or losses from subsidiaries and JVs.
Got it. Were there any major exceptional items reported that we need to be aware of?
Yes, there were. On the standalone side for Q4 and the full year FY25, there's an exceptional expense of 1,773.93 crore rupees, noted as impairment of investment in subsidiary. This relates to their investment in Bharat Petro Resources Limited (BPRL), their upstream subsidiary. The notes explain this is due to changed prospects in BPRL's blocks, and the total accumulated impairment on BPRL is now nearly 7,000 crore rupees. On the consolidated side, there's an exceptional expense noted as project cost expensed off. This was 101.13 crore rupees in Q4 FY25 and 378.41 crore rupees for the full year FY25. This is linked to BPRL again, specifically costs associated with the force majeure declared on the Mozambique Area 1 LNG project since April 2021. These are considered abnormal costs due to the project suspension. So significant impairments and exceptional costs hitting both standalone and consolidated results, stemming largely from challenges in the upstream BPRL business.
That's a major flag from BPRL. Let's touch upon the balance sheet. Any key highlights from the assets and liabilities as of March 2025?
Looking at the consolidated balance sheet as of March 31st, 2025, total assets stood at 2,18,382.22 crore rupees, up from 2,02,417.75 crore rupees a year ago. Total equity attributable to owners increased to 81,384.08 crore rupees from 75,635.11 crore rupees. Total liabilities are 1,36,998.14 crore rupees. Total debt, that's borrowings excluding lease liabilities, adds up to 51,060.91 crore rupees. 26,527.88 CR non-current plus 24,533.03 CR current, which is up from 45,484.93 crore rupees last year. And on the standalone side, total assets were 1,87,994.54 crore rupees, up from 1,72,992.97 crore rupees. Total equity was 80,960.09 crore rupees, up from 74,674.80 crore rupees. Total debt, borrowings excluding leases, was 42,314.18 crore rupees, 2,160.63 CR non-current, plus 40,113.55 CR current, adjusting for trade payables which are listed separately, up from 18,766.89 crore rupees. The standalone debt seems to have increased significantly, particularly current borrowings.
A noticeable increase in debt, especially on the standalone side. What about cash flows for the year?
Looking at the consolidated cash flow statement for FY25, net cash from operating activities was positive at 23,677.79 crore rupees, but down from 35,969.63 crore rupees in FY24. Net cash used in investing activities was 19,179.99 crore rupees, a higher outflow than FY24's 10,554.31 crore rupees, largely due to higher capex and intangible asset purchases. Net cash used in financing activities was 6,240.61 crore rupees, a significantly lower outflow than FY24's 25,427.30 crore rupees, mainly due to net proceeds from borrowings this year versus large repayments last year, offset partly by dividend payments. The standalone cash flow shows a similar pattern. Strong positive operating cash flow, 23,604.83 crore rupees, high investing outflow, 18,795.63 crore rupees, and a financing outflow, 4,916.09 crore rupees. Also, the board recommended a final dividend of 5 rupees per equity share for FY25, subject to shareholder approval. This is in addition to an interim dividend of 5 rupees per share already paid.
Okay, operating cash flow is still positive but lower, while investing is up and financing outflow is down due to borrowing changes. Now let's break down the performance by segment. The consolidated report shows downstream petroleum and exploration and production, or E&P. How did they fare?
For the full year FY25, downstream petroleum. This is the core refining and marketing business. It generated the vast majority of revenue, about 5,371.25 crore rupees, essentially the entire consolidated revenue minus E&P. Its segment result profit before tax and interest was 19,424.32 crore rupees. This segment holds the bulk of the assets, 1,71,982.08 crore rupees, and liabilities, 73,887.78 crore rupees. Exploration and production, E&P. This segment, primarily BPRL, had revenue of just 146.23 crore rupees for the year. Critically, it reported a segment loss before tax and interest of 335.30 crore rupees. Its assets are valued at 25,734.04 crore rupees, with very minimal liabilities listed, 30.59 crore rupees. So the downstream segment is clearly the profit engine, while the E&P segment is currently a drag on profitability, reflected in the segment loss and the impairments we discussed earlier.
That really puts the BPRL impairment into context. Summing up the overall performance for fiscal year 25 compared to fiscal year 24,
FY25 was a year of significantly lower profitability for BPCL compared to FY24, both standalone and consolidated. While revenues saw only a slight dip, profit before tax and profit after tax roughly halved year over year. This pressure came despite support from increased other income. The major driver appears to be pressures within the core downstream business compared to the previous year, compounded by losses and significant impairment charges related to the upstream E&P BPRL segment. The final quarter did show some sequential improvement on the consolidated profit lines, but not on the standalone side.
Are there any other significant notes or events mentioned in the reports that investors should be aware of?
Yes, a few key ones. LPG buffer account, standalone note 5. Since April 2020, BPCL retains the difference when the market price of LPG cylinders is less than the effective cost to the customer. As of March 2025, they had a cumulative negative buffer of 10,446.38 crore rupees. This means revenue from LPG sales hasn't been recognized to this extent, potentially impacting reported revenue and profits. BPRL disclosures, consolidated note 6. This details the challenges we discussed. Reliance on operator statements for JVs, the expired exploration block, AAON 2010-3 pending extension, the consolidation of the Brazil JV, IBV, and the impact of the Russia-Ukraine situation. Management believes operations not immediately affected. Dividend. As mentioned, a final dividend of 5 rupees per share was recommended, bringing the total for the year to 10 rupees per share, post-bonus adjustment. Bonus shares. The 1-for-1 bonus issue in June 2024 doubled the number of shares, impacting EPS calculations for all periods presented.
Those are important contextual points, especially the LPG buffer and the BPRL issues. Now crucially, let's discuss the auditor's reports. We have reports from Nissim and Company LLP and Manohar Chaudhary and Associates for both standalone and consolidated results. What did they say? Any qualifications or concerns?
This is critical. Both the standalone and consolidated auditors' reports express an unmodified opinion. This means the auditors believe the financial statements give a true and fair view in accordance with accounting standards. However, this comes with important caveats mentioned in specific sections. For the standalone report, other matters, the auditors highlight that BPCL did not have the requisite number of independent directors for parts of the year. specifically November 12, 2024 to March 27, 2025, meaning non-compliance with certain SEBI regulations and the Companies Act during that period. They also note that the Q4 figures are balancing figures derived from the full-year audited figures and the unaudited 9-month figures. For the consolidated report, emphasis of matter, this is a significant section. The auditors draw attention to several notes without modifying their opinion. Note 5 regarding the Mozambique LNG project force majeure and the expensing of related costs. Note 6a regarding the reliance on audited, unaudited statements from operators for incorporating BPRL's share in Indian block JVs, particularly highlighting that for 5 blocks operated by others, audited statements weren't received and certified figures were used. Note 6b concerning the expired exploration block AAO-NN 2010-3, where BPRL continues to carry the asset value pending approval for an extension. Note 6c regarding the consolidation of the IBV Brazil entity as a joint venture based on Brazilian Civil Code and Articles of Association. Note 6d regarding the Russia-Ukraine situation and management's assessment that JV operations there were not immediately affected. Other matters, similar to the standalone report, they mention the lack of independent directors for a period. They also detail the audits performed by other auditors. For BPRL, the trust, the basis for incorporating figures from JVs and associates, some audited by others, some unaudited, the non-consolidation of certain entities deemed immaterial or under liquidation exit, the BPRL auditor's reliance on management's technical evaluations, the going concern basis issue for a BPRL subsidiary, BPR JPDA Limited, the Q4 balancing figures, and the e-Compaker. Audit of comparatives by predecessor auditors.
Okay. So while the overall opinion is unmodified, meaning the financials are broadly considered fair, the auditors specifically flag several areas in the emphasis of matter and other matter sections for the consolidated results. These mainly revolve around the complexities and uncertainties within the BPRL subsidiary, force majeure, reliance on partner data, expired blocks, and even a subsidiary's going concern basis. The lack of independent directors for a period is also a governance flag.
Exactly. An unmodified opinion is good, but investors absolutely must read and understand the points highlighted in the emphasis of matter and other matter sections. They point to significant risks and uncertainties, particularly surrounding the upstream investments that aren't immediately obvious from just the headline profit numbers.
Definitely noted. So bringing it all together, what's the outlook for BPCL based on these results and the auditor commentary?
Absolutely. It's a mixed picture. The core downstream business remains the profit driver, although profitability was lower in FY25 than the year before. The company is generating positive operating cash flow and rewarding shareholders with dividends. However, the upstream E&P segment BPRL faces significant challenges, evidenced by the impairment, exceptional costs, and the numerous points raised by the auditors in the emphasis of matter section regarding Mozambique, expired blocks, and data reliance. The significant increase in debt, particularly standalone current borrowings, also needs watching. The governance issue regarding independent directors, though potentially resolved post-March 2025, is another factor.
So potential risks include continued pressure or uncertainty in the E&P segment impacting future financials, volatility in refining margins, managing the increased debt load, and resolving the issues highlighted by the auditors.
Precisely. The outlook depends heavily on stable performance in the downstream segment and effectively managing or mitigating the risks and losses associated with the BPRL investments. And as always, a reminder to our listeners, this discussion is based on the information available in the earnings report. Investing in equities involves risk, and you should always consult with a certified financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Great summary. So to conclude, BPCL's FY25 showed lower profits compared to the previous year, impacted by E&P impairments and likely margin pressures, although Q4 consolidated profits showed sequential improvement. The downstream segment remains key, but significant uncertainties and auditor flags exist around the upstream BPRL subsidiary. The dividend is a positive, but increased debt and governance flags warrant attention.
Well put. A complex report with several layers beneath the surface numbers, especially those auditor notes on the consolidated side.
Absolutely. That's all the time we have for today on Market Movers. Thanks for tuning in as we unpack BPCL's latest results.
Join us next time for more market insights.